guys, it's Virginia Reyna Dunne for Crypto Cafe, and I am here in Venice Beach with Micah for Gem Wallets. Welcome, Micah. We're so happy to have you.
Thanks for coming to our office here.
Yeah, so, you've been in the crypto space for a really long time. Can you tell me how you got started with that?
I was a software programmer for a long time, working on a lot of different startups, building a lot of interesting products, built a financial advisor, robo-advisor, and I was spending all my nights and weekends just thinking about Bitcoin and reading about Bitcoin. And finally, one of my clients, when I was building these products, said, hey, why don't you just build a Bitcoin startup? And I thought that was a pretty good idea. So I dropped everything I was doing, went to Costa Rica for a month, locked myself in a room, and built the original prototype of the company. And that's really how the company got started. And then I came back from Costa Rica and started hiring people and raising money, and we started building the company.
What was it that you decided that you wanted to make the wallet?
The core premise of Bitcoin and crypto technology in general is that it empowers individuals to be able to take control over their own money, their own assets, their own data. And the wallet is really the tool that empowers the user to be able to do that. And it's the most important tool, I think, in the industry. And so we really want to create that tool for people. We want to empower users to be able to take control over their own, identity, their own data, their own money, their own destiny.
I know a lot of people are like, you shouldn't leave your money in exchanges, or like you should always have it in your own personal wallet. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so one of the challenges in building this ecosystem is that we've taken something that is extremely highly decentralized, meaning that individual users can hold and control their own money, their own destiny. And we've actually created a lot of centralized services on top of that, exchanges where money aggregates into one, company's coffers. And that is actually pretty dangerous. It's exactly what we were trying to avoid with the system. And it was sort of a necessary evil in the early days of crypto, because in order to facilitate markets and exchange, at the rate and speed which is required to create liquidity in the markets and to be able to allow money to move fluidly, we had to sort of aggregate that into one place, or several exchanges. But what's really interesting is that the very technology that we use to create the digital money is now being used to create something called decentralized exchanges. So blockchains can now actually create marketplaces where buyers and sellers can come and trade at much greater speeds than we were able to do in the early days of cryptocurrency. And so the promise is that blockchains will actually decentralize decentralized exchanges themselves. And so that's really exciting. We're moving towards a future where all services will be decentralized, and centralized services will have to compete against a much more efficient peer-to-peer exchange system.
How is it going to be different, and why, what are its main features that, separate it from all the other wallets that are out there?
Well, I think the number one thing that separates us from pretty much everything out there is really our approach. Our approach is to make this fun and simple and easy to use, with lots of really great education along the way, for a whole new group of users that haven't really been targeted before.
You can add all your wallets, but will there be trading on there, or is it just simply to store your coins and tokens?
So we look at Gem as being really the browser for this new world, rather than the services themselves. So what we do is we give you essentially a portal, a single place that you can go to access all of the different apps and services in the crypto industry, including exchanges. And so our portfolio tracker, for example, is connected to 23 different exchanges. It makes it the most connected portfolio tracker in the world, as far as I'm aware. And so we are connecting the user to services. So if you can still trade on exchanges and other services, but it's really hard to keep track of all of your activity across the entire ecosystem. And so we're making that really simple, so that you have one sort of single portal that you can use to interface with all these different services.
So how will you decide which tokens are you going to actually put on there to begin with? Because, with just how everything is in this whole space, some aren't as trustworthy as others. How are you going to kind of navigate that?
Well, we're really about user control and user choice. And so our goal is not to be a curator of what a user can do, but rather to give them the tools that allow them to do what they want. And so we are supporting as many tokens as we possibly can. for technical reasons, we're rolling this out, starting with Bitcoin and Litecoin and some of the Bitcoin variants, and then Ethereum, of course. And then on top of Ethereum, we're supporting all ERC20 tokens. So ERC20 is a standard for how tokens get launched on top of the Ethereum platform, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of those. And then we're very excited about platforms like EOS. So we'll be adding these networks very rapidly once we get that initial version out.
What is your long-term vision for GEM?
I believe pretty strongly that decentralization in general is the answer to a lot of the problems in society that we've created by highly centralizing money and power and data into the hands of a few. And so I think that this is really a part of a larger movement that GEM is a part of. We're not running the movement, but we are part of this movement to move the world to a more decentralized society and a more decentralized economy. But in order to do that, we have to do this at scale. We have to somehow attract not just the sort of insiders that are currently in the market. We have to go beyond the current market and invite the next billion people into crypto. And in order to do that, you need to create a product that is really simple and easy to use and actually fun. We want to bring an element of fun into the space. Our mascot is a floating unicorn, for example. It's more inviting and friendly, and we're focused on things that users will enjoy in their daily lives. So if I could say what our ultimate mission is we want to build the decentralized economy into a marketplace that contains billions of people using crypto every day in their daily lives.
When people are using your wallet, do you think it'll be something that they're checking like every day? Because it's like Facebook. You wake up, you check your Facebook, you check your Instagram. Do you feel like GEM is going to be one of those things that people are just waking up and checking?
I sure hope so. So I think that's a large part of our strategy is that if you think about the most sticky behavior in crypto today, right now it's very exciting. If you have a small portfolio of crypto tokens, it's very exciting. The price moves up, it moves down every day. It's like a Greek drama, as our chief strategy officer, Chitra, says. And so, the most sticky behavior right now is that you're checking your portfolio 3 times a day, 4 times a day, sometimes more. And so we're starting with our portfolio tracker for that very reason. We want to engage users from the very beginning. And then really, once you get those users in, we want to branch out from there and start to introduce them to lots of different types of things like decentralized apps and services, digital collectibles, sort of like give them a portal to the rest of the world. Yeah. Can
you tell me how the history of GEM has evolved?
We've been in this space since 2013, which actually kind of makes us a bit of a dinosaur in this industry. In 2013, it was a very different landscape. The first event I ever went to for Bitcoin was 15 people in a park in downtown LA with Silk Road drug dealers trading Bitcoins in the park. And now it's this financial empire that it's become. But in the early days, one of the biggest problems was really security, and there were a handful of places where you could go and trade Bitcoin, centralized exchanges, and they were getting hacked left and right. So we recognized that there was this need to create a secure infrastructure that people could build upon and leverage to build a whole world of different types of apps and services. So we built the first Bitcoin wallet API, basically security as a service, and we were powering wallets for apps like Purse.io and centralized Bitcoin exchanges where they were using our platform for their security. So we have always had our roots in wallets and security. Because we had built up that security knowledge, when large enterprises started coming into the crypto space and the blockchain space more generally, they started to reach out to us to get educated. And so we started doing enterprise deployments for major Fortune 500s like Philips, Capital One, Mercer, Toyota, but our heart and our roots were always in empowering the new digital economy for the next billion people. And so when we had the chance, we decided to go back to our roots and really focus on wallets. And that's where this product is it's really at the heart of what we want to do.
For people that are just getting their first wallet, what advice would you give to them?
Well, of course, I would say if you're just getting your first wallet, you should go to gem.co and download Gem. But another piece of advice that I would really recommend is to look up the Bitcoin white paper written by Satoshi Nakamoto back in 2008, and it's only 8 pages or 9 pages with references. It's really not that hard of a read. It takes maybe an hour to read, but it will educate you on the ethos of why this industry was created in the first place, and it's super powerful. And when I read the white paper for the first time, it was like a light bulb moment that went off in my head, and I understood what it meant, beyond just digital cash. This was something that was really transformational. So I highly recommend reading that. And you can also actually get the white paper on the Gem app.
Well, thank you so much, Micah, for letting us come out and visit at Gem Wallet, and thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.